Welcome back to Guitar Breakdowns. Today I'm going to be doing Band of Horses Evening Kitchen. A really interesting song to learn because despite only having two sections, each of them have a very interesting fingerpicking pattern. It's in standard tuning but capoed at the 5th fret, so I'll be referring to the chords as if this is fret 0. So let's get into it. The interesting thing about the verse is it has this continuous playing of the B and E strings throughout the whole verse, which I find quite interesting because I normally think of bass notes as something continuous and the higher notes move around a bit more, whereas this is the opposite. The first chord is a C, and as I say, you're constantly playing this B and E strings, and you walk up through the chord from the A string to the D string and then the G string, and then back down to the D string. Might be a good way to get used to the pattern by playing just this one chord. Second chord is what I'm calling a G. It kind of is where you play the 3rd fret on the low E and then the 2nd fret on the D, open G and open B. So the ringing note changes from goes, you let go. So those two chords together are. So you're skipping the A string when you play this G. Then it goes to an E minor, standard E minor, and then to an F, but the F is, you can't play it barred across the 1st fret with your finger because you need an open E string and you need an open G string, so you need to play the root with your thumb. So you've got 1st fret played with your thumb on the low E, then 3rd fret of the A, 3rd fret of the D, open G, 1st fret of the B, and open E. So I'll play the verse through for you. Into the E minor. F, then you go back to that G shape. So there's a little bit of a fill there at the end where you play the G string and then hammer on the 2nd fret and then open D. So then we get into the chorus and the finger picking changes up for this part, where it goes into Travis picking, which if you're not sure what that is, it's where your thumb alternates between the root note and maybe the 5th or the octave of that note. In this song it's the octave, so the first chord is this F shape that we had in the verse, and your thumb is going between 1st fret of the low E and 3rd fret of the D. So that's something to get used to. And how you start adding in the higher notes is to start off, use this 1st fret of the B. Every time you hit something with your thumb, do that 1st fret of the B with your finger. Once you're used to that, then you can start adding in the rest of the notes. So the first note to add in is the open G string, and that goes between these first two notes. So you can start adding it in. then at the end of that each passage you start adding in the high E. Have an E minor chord, same finger picking pattern. So yeah, get used to that. It's takes a little getting used to, but I actually find it harder playing it slowly just then. You get into a rhythm and the muscle memory kicks in. When you get to the end of this end of this section, there's a little single string fill that then brings you back into the verses, which is 2nd fret on the G, open B, 1st fret on the B, 3rd fret on the B, and then it walks back down to an open G. And then you're back into the verses. Yeah, interesting song. I really like this one because of 2 different techniques you kind of have to learn, and the going from one section to the next can be a bit of a thing to get used to, but play along to the song and I'm sure you'll get it. Really useful techniques in there that you can start using in your own songwriting. So hopefully that was of some use. Like this, give me some comments, anything else you'd like me to break down, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks a lot.